not Santa Claus.
Hey, you're not Webby.
Life is like a candy cane here in Duckburg.
Finally, what is happening, my fellow DuckTales viewers? And it's about time I present my analysis for this Christmas special. And it was the perfect episode to end with yet another cliffhanger following a hiatus. The entirety of the episode revolved around Scrooge McDuck and his adventure in going back to the past. And of course, Dewey as well, after still mourning the loss of his mother. Remember, they still don't know that she's actually alive. It's probably not for the reasons most people would think, however. Apparently, the story goes like this. The three ghosts of Christmas accidentally stumbled upon the wrong Scrooge, attempting to find the real one who truly despised Christmas. You see, it's funny because Disney actually owns A Christmas Carol. Great movie, by the way. Now, this Scrooge McDuck doesn't necessarily hate Christmas as much as this one, for example. But it is still true for some reason that he has distaste for Santa Claus. It was also something Scrooge mentioned in their last Christmas family get-together trip at Mount Everest.
Okay, so instead of spending Christmas in a billionaire's mansion waiting for Santa Claus...
That man is not allowed in my home. He knows what he did.
We're following an old man up Mount Certain Doom here?
I also love the comparison between the last Christmas versus this recent one. Ever since the revealment of Della Duck missing and the family in the end getting back together, we see the results of everyone in the next Christmas special celebrating the holidays together. Alright, now let's begin with Scrooge's adventure in the episode. For him, it's about making it into the past in order to celebrate Christmas by crashing into the best parties of the past. I said past a bunch of times. That is until Scrooge realizes that even the past isn't as great as his future. The ghost of Christmas past, however, refuses to take Scrooge to the future, simply because he was sick of teaching people Christmas lessons of togetherness without those same people giving him attention years later. But it's all good because then Scrooge brilliantly tricks him into taking his time-traveling umbrella.
You know, this is an amazing fight.
I know, right?
What I wouldn't give to do it over again.
Nostalgia for a fight that started a minute ago? Now that's living in the past. Let's do it! Oh, man, this is gonna be great. Where was I? All right. Every year... Good one, Scrooge! Get back here! Or should I say, get back now? Scrooge? He'll be back.
Yeah, that was pretty clever. The story then focuses on Dewey and how he too was able to go back into the past in order to see his mother. At first, Dewey sees Donald when he was a kid who was basically an emo, and obviously didn't take the time to spend every Christmas with his family every year. They go on the hunt to look for Della and notice that the tent is destroyed and giant snow feet are marked everywhere. They then fall for one of Della's traps and whoa! Doesn't she look as if she resembles someone we already know? Don't worry, I'll totally get to that eventually. But first, let me explain the rest of the special. After immediately falling for the trap, the monster manages to catch up with them. Della is about to save both of them until Donald decides to insult her by saying dumb Della. And even after apologizing for calling her that, Dewey also realizes that there is another particular reason why she wanted an apology. And it was for ditching Della and everyone during the holidays like how Dewey would do since he's still heartbroken from Della's disappearance. And then they escape because they're the freaking Duck family. And even though Donald says that he's not that much of an adventurous type, he was still taking the monster down with Della as if they were trained professionals. I guess you can call them the original mystery twins, huh? Whatever, this totally brought me back some memories regardless. They make it back to the slightly different looking McDuck mansion of the past, and Dewey hugs Della. And then he tries to make up an excuse saying that he was just a long distant cousin in the family. Even though everything he tried to make up for ended up being obsolete since Della instantly figures out that he's a relative from the future. I mean, both Donald and her explain that it was just the fourth weirdest encounter that they've experienced on Christmas. And it would explain as to why the younger Scrooge from the past wasn't too surprised in seeing his future self. Oh yeah, and Dewey attempts to try and tell Donald and Della about the future, but they stop him in order to not disrupt the time stream. So they enter back inside the mansion, and then the monster nearly gets Dewey. That is until Scrooge saves him. It's revealed that the monster was the ghost of Christmas past who had turned into a Wendigo that was fueled by obsession and desperation. Every Christmas Eve, he would travel across the woods looking for Scrooge McDuck after abandoning him decades in the past. So they finally make up, go to the future, and meet up with everyone else. And what's quite interesting is how Donald realizes that Dewey was the one who went back into the past. And even though Della wasn't allowed to be warned of the future, we still see her building a way. It seems that instead of just simply trying to transmit signals from outer space down to Earth, since, I mean, she was able to receive television signals from over 100,000 miles away, but yeah, instead of simply doing that, she decides to attempt to rebuild the rocket from what it seems. Anyways, that's the end of the episode pretty much, but let's discuss about this resemblance, okay? Della and Webby seem to share a lot of physical appearances, not to mention their similar hairstyles, excluding the bow tie, movements in combat, and intelligence. Plus, this would be a surprising reveal, don't you think? Webby fell in love and obsessed over the McDuck heritage. And we technically don't have any information as to who exactly her parents are. Miss Beakley met Scrooge as an agent, but maybe it was all destiny for them to meet up with each other. Both Webby and Bentina have different last names, and Webby must have been too young for her to know anything about her parents. Kinda like the triplets. Same time, it's a theory that falls short from the fact that, hey, why wasn't her egg mentioned in the family? And someone could also argue that maybe the father took her and that's why we haven't seen Webby's mother or father and why Miss Beakley was the one to raise her. Now, I don't suspect that Bentina knows anything about Della being the wife, but perhaps she knew the father. And besides the fact that Miss Beakley is her grandmother, once again, there wasn't an episode in the original DuckTales on who were Webby's parents, so maybe that mystery will be revealed in this reboot. And lastly, I am aware of the fact that Miss Beakley, her grandmother, helps her with her survival skills, but come on, the way she does her combat and everything looks way too similar to Della's. And so with all that being said, this has been TNBT with another analysis, and I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and tune in for more videos after finals week. Peace!